Hello, welcome to my studio. I'm Judy Hooworth. The quilt on the wall behind me is called Creek Drawing number 17. I live in Morisset, New South Wales, and Dora Creek flows very close to my home. In fact, I can walk out my studio door and I can be down to the creek in about 2 minutes. I like to walk there as often as I can. I'm a keen photographer, keen bird watcher. With my photographs, I assemble them into artist books. I like to take detailed shots of the water and overall shots of the creek from different vantage points. I also like to draw, and because I'm a keen bird watcher, the things that I like to draw are the birds that I see. So I assemble these drawings into books as well, also with little sketches of the creek, and I make a note of what I see on each of the walks that I do. I find that together these form a very valuable resource for the quilts that I make. I'm very interested in drawing. I like line. Line really forms the basis of all my work. I love the emotion that line can create and the patterns that it creates as well. When I'm beginning a quilt like this, I often start with a little sketch. Sometimes I can do some rough sketches on paper, cut them apart, collage them together, add some crayon. This is a good way of starting off with some ideas. I can also take my photographs, print them out, collage them together, add crayon and pencil to the images and work on designs using that sort of method. The beginnings of this quilt was a composition collaged of photographs that I took down the creek. When I began, I was going to make a coloured quilt, but quilt making takes on a life of its own, and I hadn't got too far into the quilt before it decided it was just going to be a drawing with just a touch of colour. It's made in two sections. This section is a monoprint and this section is painted. For this section I put the piece on the easel and I painted it with a brush and textile ink. The monoprint begins with small sketches on tracing paper. I find this is very useful because I can reverse the image. When you're working with a monoprint, you have to remember that what you're putting on your surface is going to be back to front to the final appearance. So the ink is placed onto a flat surface, either painted on or drawn on, and the cloth is put over the top, pressed down, peeled back, and it gives you one print. When I've done that, I can work back into the cloth with a finer pen and do some more detailed drawing. I really like the combination between the rough texture of the monoprint and the fine lines of the drawing. When the quilt is completed, I spend quite a bit of time thinking about what colour quilting thread I'm going to use. My quilts are quilted very intensely in a vertical quilting line, and it's called matchstick quilting. The lines are less than 5mm apart. I like the effect of matchstick quilting because it creates a surface texture all over the quilt that's a fairly even texture. It also creates a sort of veil between the image and the surface, and I really like that effect. It softens the drawing a bit. Choosing which colour quilting thread to use is quite important because it's surprising how much the colour of the thread will change the look of the quilt. I do enjoy the process of lots of stitching. I find that it's meditative. It gives me time to think about the work that I'm making, and it also connects me back to the nature from where it started. Thank you.